Welcome back to the Unlock Your Potential podcast. I'm Matt Faupel, founder of Faupel X, and this is where we get serious about commercial real estate, leadership, and execution. If you're a property manager in CRE that wants to scale smarter, build real trust with your stakeholders, and lead with precision, you're exactly where you need to be. Today we're diving into something that absolutely separates good managers from the great ones, building a strong property management team. And I'm not talking about teams that just show up and do the job. I'm talking about teams that think like owners, anticipate problems, and execute at the highest level. Because here's the truth that not a lot of property managers want to face. No matter how good your systems are, no matter how sharp you are personally, if your team isn't strong, you're not going to reach your potential. You can only scale as far as your weakest link will allow. So let's talk about how to build these teams that become your competitive advantage instead of your biggest headache. Let's start with the foundation, trust. Without it, nothing else we're going to talk about matters. Trust isn't built through big gestures or motivational speeches. It's built through consistency, integrity, day after day, decision after decision. It's not about being perfect. None of us are. It's about being dependable. When your team trusts you, something magical happens. They start initiative instead of waiting for instructions. They share ideas instead of keeping their heads down. They push harder when things get tough because they know you'll have their back. If your team doesn't trust you, they will hesitate when you need them to move. If they do trust you, they'll move with you through whatever comes next. The second pillar is communication, and I'm not talking about the kind where the property manager talks a lot. I'm talking about the kind where everyone actually ends up on the same page. Hold regular check-ins, daily huddles for urgent projects, weekly reviews for bigger picture items, one-on-ones for personal development. Make it predictable so people know when and where they're going to get information. Be transparent about goals, challenges, and changes. Your team can handle the truth about what's happening in the business and the property. What they can't handle is being kept in the dark when they're expected to execute perfectly with not all the information. Practice active listening. This isn't just about giving updates downward, it's about feedback flowing both ways. Your maintenance team knows things about the building that you don't. Your office manager hears things from the tenants that matter. You need to listen to them. Silence creates confusion. Clarity builds confidence. Shared purpose. The strongest teams don't just show up for a paycheck. They buy into a mission. They understand their daily work connects to something much bigger. Connect those daily tasks to the actual business outcomes you are looking for. Show your maintenance tech how preventive maintenance directly impacts the net operating income. Help your office manager understand how their tenant interactions directly affect renewal rates. Make those connections very clear to understand. Don't just tell people what to do. Explain why you're doing it. When you're investing in a capital project upgrade, when you're changing a process, when you're implementing a new technology, you need to articulate the reasoning so everyone's on the same page. A property, for example, that was planning a major HVAC overhaul. It was going to be disruptive, expensive, require a lot of extra work from several people on the team. The property manager could have just announced it and expected compliance. Instead, they walked the entire team through the numbers. Here's what we're spending on emergency repairs. Here's what we're losing with tenant complaints coming in. And here's how the upgrade will improve the day-to-day work and give us a competitive advantage over other properties in the area. The mindset shift was immediate. Instead of seeing this project as extra work imposed from above, the team saw it as an investment in their ability to do their jobs better and a better experience for the tenants they serve every day. They started coming up to the property manager with ideas for how to make that project even more efficient after that planning session. Shared purpose turns jobs into missions, and people on missions perform differently than people just doing jobs. Teams stay stagnant if they're not growing, and property management is evolving way too fast for anyone to stay still. Invest in training, certifications, workshops, even informal lunches where you bring in experts to talk about technology or trends in the industry. Those things make growth not just a budget line item, not an afterthought, but proactive planning to develop the team into future leaders. Cross-train your people so they understand more than just their role. Your maintenance person should understand office management basics. Your office manager should understand building operations. This makes your team more valuable and more engaged. Celebrate curiosity. When the team's asking questions today, those are the people that will be leaders tomorrow. Do not shut that curiosity down. You should encourage it. For example, a maintenance coordinator that kept asking questions about finance and the financial side of property management, instead of the property manager telling them to stay in his lane and not to worry about it, the property manager invited them to budget reviews and to meetings to show them what those topics are all about. 2 years later, when that campus needed a new property manager for another building, he was ready to go, ready to step up, not just with his technical skills, but with his business understanding. They didn't have to go outside to hire, they developed talent internally. A team that grows together stays together. A team that's ignored, they leave. And in today's labor market, losing good people is expensive and painful. Now, this is where a lot of leaders drop the ball. They think recognition and accountability are opposites, but they're actually two sides of the same coin. Recognizing contributors publicly, both big wins and small things that keep operations going smooth, people need to know their work matters and that it gets noticed. At the same time, creating clear accountability, clear roles, clear responsibilities, no confusion about who owns what. When things go wrong, address it directly but fairly. Celebrate wins as a team and own misses as a team. Don't throw people under the bus when something goes sideways, but also don't let poor performance slide. For example, a situation that a property had a major inspection coming up. One of the team members went way above and beyond to prepare, coming in after hours, coordinating with other vendors to confirm, making sure every detail was perfect. Instead of just thanking that person privately, the property manager made sure the whole team and ownership knew what that person had done. Public recognition built enormous goodwill, not just with that employee, but with everyone who saw that the recognition for those efforts did not go unnoticed. On the flip side, a property team has someone consistently missing deadlines, creating problems for other team members. The property manager may try to address it quietly, hoping it would improve, but if it doesn't, it actually gets worse and it starts affecting team morale. And then the property manager finally addresses it directly to make these changes and sees a relief from the team. The team had actually been watching the entire time to see if the property manager would maintain standards or let things slide. Teams thrive when they know they're valued and when they understand the standards. Both pieces are essential. Once you've got the fundamentals solid, trust, communication, purpose, growth, recognition, accountability, then you can start elevating to the next level. Think about strategic succession planning. Who are you developing to step into a leadership role? Don't wait until you need them to start building them. Provide advanced training so your team starts thinking like owners, not just operators. When the people understand the business impact of their decisions, they make better decisions. Get your team fluent in property technology. Don't let them just be reactive. Teach them to be data-driven and proactive. The buildings that win in the next decade will be the ones that have teams that leverage technology to raise the bar. Build crisis readiness through drills, scenarios, tabletop exercises. Do not wait for an emergency to find out how your team will perform under pressure. Develop tenant experience mastery that goes way beyond just responding to a service call. Train your team to create genuine engagement and value for everyone they get to interact with. Elite teams are not just something you find. They are something that a property manager builds, trains, and equips the team members to handle not just today's situations, but tomorrow and every day after. Here's what I want everyone to remember. A building doesn't just run on systems alone. It runs on people. And the property managers who rise the fastest in this industry are the ones that learn how to build strong, resilient, high-performance teams. Trust, clarity, growth, these are not soft skills. They are force multipliers that determine whether you're managing one building or 10, whether you're fighting a fire every day or you're executing a strategic vision. Your team is either your biggest asset or your biggest limitation. The choice is up to the property manager. That's a wrap on today's episode of Unlock Your Potential podcast. If this episode gave you some clarity on building stronger teams, please do me a favor and share this with someone else in the commercial real estate industry. Take time to check out faupelx.com, where we have links to CRE Pro on ChatGPT and the Unlock Your Potential newsletter on LinkedIn. Until next time, keep pushing forward.